Cleveland's rotational defense and perimeter defense fucking sucks, man. Every time I look at their opponents, these guys are just fucking just marksmen from 3-point shooters, man. Like 2 for 4, 3 for 4, 3 for 3. Oladipo 5 for 7, 1 for 1, 2 for 3. I mean, this is ridiculous. They're old, man. They're old. I said this last year. You guys remember I was saying this shit last year, and people were like, oh, no, it's not. They're old. We started seeing it last year. But the thing about it, the Eastern Conference was so fucking weak that it didn't matter. You know? But now, it's going to matter because a lot of other teams have made improvements. Other teams are starting to step up. If anything, Cleveland, like, they're taking a step back despite all of the differences, the changes. They got a bunch of guys who are older or guys who aren't playing the same level of defense they once were accustomed to playing. Guys who are just names but shells of what they once were. Brittle players. They're going to have to adjust to Isaiah Thomas when he comes back from injury. I don't know, man. I'm still going to favor them because of the Cleveland Cavaliers. And they've been to 3 consecutive NBA Finals. And there's nothing that's going to convince me quite yet that they're not going to go for a 4th time. LeBron James had a good game, 33 points, 6 rebounds, 11 assists, 14 of 22 shooting from the floor. He still has to be shooting somewhere close to 60% from the floor, which is remarkable. But outside of really Derrick Rose, nobody else did anything offensively. J.R. Smith, once again, didn't do anything. He's on pace to have a career worst year. Kevin Love didn't really do much. I'm thinking that this team is going to make some changes soon, man. I think part of the problem is possibly, maybe, I was wrong in the other video I did last week, and I said I don't think it's the coach. I don't know. Have this team run its course with Tyronn Lue? Is it the offense? I don't know, but I'm thinking if they keep losing like this, if they lose another game or 2 more games to add to the streak, I think they're going to fire Tyronn Lue. I think they will. And you're seeing that more often with coaches getting fired. Like the organization just think it's setting a bad tone and you shake something up. I think if they lose, even possibly lose 1 more game, they're going to fire Tyronn Lue. And ultimately, if they still struggle throughout the season, they might make a move on a guy like Love or Smith or something like that, man. I think they're going to shake this lineup up, man, because LeBron James is LeBron James. You know what I mean? He doesn't accept losing. He doesn't like to lose. And we know how impatient and he is. So we're going to see. But I'm very, very concerned about this club, man. They just look like, you know. Tell me what you guys think, man. Oh, before I say this, before I go, one of the reasons why I don't want to bail on Cleveland is we all remember those great Boston Celtics teams from the 50s and early to mid 60s, right? But the last championship came in 1969. The last championships were in 68 and 69. And those teams were not like the earlier teams, those earlier Celtics teams. They were slower. They were older. They kind of dragged through the regular season. I think, one year they were like 48 and 34, or 46 and 36, the exact record, kind of don't remember. But they weren't the 60-win Celtics anymore. They were older, slower. Sam Jones was ancient. I think the last year Bill Russell played there was the first and only year he didn't average, like real year that he played that he didn't average double figures in scoring. And a lot of people thought that the Celtics' time were up, but then in the postseason, they turned it on, you know, and they upset it. A lot of teams, in particular that Lakers team that just acquired Wilt Chamberlain in the finals in 1969. So I say that because sometimes these veteran teams, they just sort of coast through the regular season, don't really do much as far as records is concerned, have problems with injuries. But then the playoffs, they turn it on. Another team that comes to mind, the 95 Houston Rockets. That was a pretty older team, too, if you think about it. That team wasn't full of a bunch of well, they had some youngsters. I take that back. They had a young Robert Horry, a young Sam Cassell. So they had youth. But they had a lot of injury issues. They did have some veterans on their club. Clyde Drexler, Akeem Olajuwon, of course. I think that was the last great year that Akeem had. 95, 96 was really good, too, but 94, 95 was his last Olajuwon-esque year, where as far as his uber dominance of the league is concerned. But, you know, that club was only a 6 seed, and they went on to win the championship. So, basically, I'm trying to say, I will never be convinced until they actually, it's going to take a lot to convince me that Cleveland is done, you know. But they are, I'm not going to say they're in trouble, but there's some concern there and some concern here. But we'll see. Tell me what you guys think.